Hi, everyone, and welcome to the McRae's Growth Challenge podcast, Inside with B2B and manufacturing leaders, where we uncover their stories, strategies, and solutions to overcoming growth challenges in their industries. I'm your host, Maria, and in each episode, we will dive deep with founders, CEOs, and industry experts to explore how they scale, innovate, and lead in today's competitive landscape. So let's get started. Today we have Brad from TPM, Texas Precision Metalcraft. Nice to meet you. How are you today?
Hey, I'm doing great, Maria. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. Brad, why don't you introduce yourself, your role, and tell us a little bit more about TPM?
Okay, again, my name is Brad DeSplinter, and I'm the General Manager, Vice President and General Manager here at Texas Precision Metalcraft, TPM. And I've been in the investment casting industry. That's what TPM does. We're an investment casting foundry. And I've been in the industry for about 35 years, and I've been about 20 years here at TPM. So TPM started about 1969, and so we've been in the business for quite some time. I came in 2006. We are a job shop, which means that basically, we don't have a commodity, we don't have a product that we sell. Customers come to us and ask us to make a product for them, and we do. And the investment casting process, if you don't know, is sometimes also called the lost wax process. We make a wax pattern, build a ceramic shell around it, melt that wax out of that shell, so there's the lost wax, and then now we have a hollow cavity that we pour 3,000 degree molten metal into, and that creates the metal part that our customer eventually wants and that we sell to our customer after a few finishing steps get done to it and whatnot. So at any rate, TPM, we're kind of a smaller company. We're in that mid to small range as far as investment casting foundries go. We're about 30 total employees, and we're in Sugar Land, Texas, which is a great place to be, especially in the wintertime because it stays nice and warm. So I get to play golf in my shorts in February a lot. So
I love it. So you guys been around for a really long time. You do extremely customized work. How has that how has your business changed as far as client acquisition and how people are finding you, creating more work for yourself? How has that evolved over the years and with how marketing and how people find each other is changing?
well, we've done a lot of things, and over the years we've done and tried things, and we keep kind of evolving. You can't just do one thing, I don't think, and count on that being forever. So we continue to evolve. We've most recently we've kind of gotten in with hired a marketing firm to work with us. We're really good at making castings. We're really good at what we do here, but we're not a bunch of marketing people or anything. We're engineering type guys. So what we've done is we've hired a marketing company, and they're working with us. We've done an upgrade to our website. We last updated it probably 10 years ago, and when we went back and looked at it, we're kind of like, oh yeah, it looks like we did that 10 years ago, right? So now it looks like it's a little more modern, a little more up to date, and kind of changed around the way we looked at it as to, what are we going to do for the customer? Not just here's a bunch of specifications on how to make an investment casting and how these metals work, but more about what can we do to help you as a customer, and what can we do to help you solve your pain points and whatnot. So, and in doing that, we've also included a whole lot of case studies, things like that are going to help customers to see a little bit more of, okay, I've had that problem before, or I've got that situation, or we make a part that looks similar to that kind of thing that will help them to understand that TPM might be the right answer for them. So now the goal is, how do we get more people going there? So we've started to use a lot of things on LinkedIn. I try to go out, and it's my goal. I don't always make my goal, but it's my goal to every Tuesday morning go out and try and post at least something out there, whether it's an anecdotal story about something, or whether it's just a little blurb about TPM, just to have people so maybe they'll recognize our name a little bit. Maybe somebody will get curious and go visit our website and see a little bit more of what we do. At the same time, our marketing company's got us working with a CRM company where we're going out and we're doing marketing through them. So we're doing kind of getting lists of people, sending some emails out, and just kind of introducing ourselves, doing that kind of thing. And then most recently, we've taken everything we did with our website and stuff and created a whole new set of brochures and things that our salespeople can actually hand out to people. Leave it with somebody. Open up the page and show them, see, this is what we do. And so from that, we're taking, and I'm kind of taking an approach that I got from a marketing guy that I worked with, probably 15, 20 years ago, that his big thing is that the one thing that people don't do anymore is they don't pick up the phone and call somebody and talk to them on the phone. They don't send them a handwritten note. It's easy. We'll send them an email and boom, kind of thing, and that's easy to do. So we're trying to do a little bit more of that personal touch. We've always prided ourselves on being a relationship company, and so that's what we're trying to do. Pick up the phone, give somebody a call, talk to them a little bit, send them a handwritten note that says, hey, thanks for that last order you had, hope everything works out great, let us know when you need something else. Just that little thing that maybe sets us apart from the other guy.
Yeah, it sounds like a huge project. Like so you just underwent this huge project. What motivates you to get started with all that? I understand that the things looked outdated before, but so what? So many manufacturing have an old website and they don't do anything about it. So what was the reason for you?
And you're right, because we went and we looked at a lot of our competitors' websites and stuff, to see, okay, well, what are they doing? And we're like, oh, they're just as bad as we are, kind of thing. So let's do something that's a little bit better and try and stand out, right? And we kind of looked at this and we said, what are we going to do? We got a good business. We're doing well. We're making money, but if we want to grow, we need to go out there. We need to outreach a little bit better. And one of the things, we're Sugar Land, Texas is a suburb of Houston. And Houston, being kind of the oil capital, if you will, kind of thing. A lot of things that happen in Houston, and a lot of things that happen in Texas for that matter, are all revolve around oil and gas. As goes oil and gas, so goes Texas for the most part, okay? And especially so goes Houston. So, and as we all know, everybody who's bought gas to put in their car, they know the prices go up and the prices go down, right? So when the prices go down, that's usually bad for us. Okay, so not that we're rooting for $5 gas, but boy, it sure would be good to be $3.50 to $4. But that really helps us when it's right there. So then business is good, everything's good, everybody's happy. It's every day's a parade. But when it goes down, then that becomes a problem. So we looked at it and said, what are we going to do to escape out of that cycle a little bit? We don't want to turn down the business that's right in our own backyard, but what we want to do is find where's that work that's in other places. So that's where we came into with the marketing plan to say, okay, let's focus our work on not oil and gas for our marketing campaign. Oil and gas we know how to do. Our sales guys can sell that all day long. Or we can sell it all day long. We got a good reputation out there. Let's go find those other markets that we might be able to get into. And so that's what our big goal was with that. And our big push was we want to get into those other markets so that maybe we find those markets as oil is going on a downward slope. We find that other guy that's on the upslope in their market.
Do you see how some of your competitors are falling behind on that and still heavily depending just on the highs to be really high? Yeah, you're noticing that as a trend, people are just still keeping the same strategy, hoping for the best?
Yeah, and I think that I do see a lot of that, and where people kind of what's the saying? You make hay when the sun shines, right? So they go like crazy, and then when the bad days, we just kind of suck it up and wait for the next good times to come around, right? And TPM had done that for quite some time too. So, but we wanted to break that cycle and get out of it. And there's other people in our industry. There's probably 150 different investment casting foundries in the U.S. kind of thing, and they do. Everybody has their own way of going about it. I like to think that I like to make sure that we're trying to stay on at least that leading edge. We may not be the very, very point of the knife, but we're right there on that very leading edge, right up there with them. So
I love it. You've mentioned a lot of the changes that you were making with the marketing and just entering the new markets and stuff like that. One thing that I haven't heard you talk about a little bit is, and maybe you can share with us because that will give us an understanding of your company, is like, what is it that you want to be found for? Like, what are people finding you for?
Okay, so again, I talked about TPM as a relationship company, and one of the things that differentiates us is we like to work with our customers to find out a little bit more about what do they do, what are their needs, and what do they really want from this part. So they're going to give you this 6-pound metal part, and they're going to say, hey, this is what we want to make. But we want to find out a little bit, well, what does this part do? How does it work? What happens? What's this part's life looks like after it leaves TPM, kind of thing. So we can learn more about it. We can talk about help them to understand our process and what TPM and our process might be able to do to them to improve their part, to make their part a little bit better than their competitor's part, or make it last a little bit longer, make it a little bit less expensive, whatever that might be that we might be able to do to help our customer get a creative advantage over their competition. So we work with customers to do that quite a bit. And if customers are looking for that type of a relationship, then that's what we want to do. I'll come right out and say all the time, if you're looking for Walmart, I'm probably not your guy, right? I don't want, the greatest salesperson in the world is that person that's standing there at the Walmart counter going beep, beep. They sell more than anybody, right? But we want to be the person that's going to be a little more of that boutique type thing where we're going to give you that personal attention. Every customer deserves that personal attention. Even if they're only making a few parts, to them, those few parts are the most important thing in the world. And we want to make sure that we show them that we think it's the most important thing in the world. So we try to do that. And there's a lot of things we do here to help make that happen. From short lead times, we're among the shortest in our industry, kind of thing. When many of our competitors are saying they're going to ship parts in 15 weeks and they really ship them in 20, we're 5 to 6 weeks for most castings that we make. That's our lead time, and that's what we do. And we do that by having continuous flow, meaning that once a part starts, that part has to keep moving every day, all the way through the shop until we're done. And so we do that with smaller lots more often, by instead of making a customer, well, I need 12,000 of these parts this year. Well, what if we made 1,000 a month? Or what if, even better, we made 500 every other week and shipped them to you that way? And then you don't have a lot of stock and inventory. I'm not choking my factory making 12,000 of something that's just going to sit on a shelf. And even best yet for you, dear customer, if I ship you all 12,000 a day, I'm going to expect you to pay for all 12,000 30 days from now. If I ship them 500 at a time, it's going to help your cash flow. So that's how we try to work with our customers to help them to understand, how they can help themselves and how we can help them by being smarter and being able to do things in a better way.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like it's such a win-win situation, the way that you positioned it. You're still able to deliver high quality product and services. They get product in batches consistently. You do not have to stop all of your flow just for this one client, because we know so many manufacturing, they have like these massive clients, from time to time, and everything is fantastic for 6 months, 2 years, 10 years, but then a competition comes, the price is better, they switch over there, and now everything is just put in hold because you were not creating any type of other opportunities for the business.
Right, and what you can run into there is when you get into that mode that you're talking about there, you get very comfortable with that, and then you're not out. You become more. When I look at sales things, I look at you can be a hunter or a farmer kind of thing. The hunter's out there always getting that new work and bringing that new work in and bringing in that new project, whereas the farmer, is the guy who's taking that same old project where that guy wants 50,000 parts a year, and we're just going to keep farming that 50,000 for as long as we can until that field goes dry. So we want to be more of the hunter side on what we do. We love to get those nice big orders and have them go on forever and ever, but what we want to do is make sure that it fits in what we do so that I can satisfy 20 customers at a time, not just one customer at a time. I want to have 20 customers that are happy with what we're doing on any given day and not just that one. So we try to make sure that we can operate our systems that way. It takes a lot more work to do that. It takes a lot more planning. It takes a lot more discipline. But frankly, once you get pretty good at it, it starts to become second nature kind of thing. And you look at when all of a sudden somebody's doing something where they're doing 12,000 at a time, and you say, "What are you thinking?" So anyway, so that's kind of the way that we operate and what we try to do with what we're doing. There's pluses and minuses that go with that. You need to be more flexible. We like to be able to turn on a dime. We don't want to be a battleship that takes 6 miles to turn. We want to be able to turn on a dime. So if a customer comes to us and they're like, "Oh my God, we got this great opportunity. If I can get 500 parts to my customer in 3 weeks, we can win this order and we can win the next 10 orders for the next 10 months or whatever." Well, we're going to make sure that we can do that for them. We're going to say, okay, well, you need them in 3 weeks, but when you get them, what are you going to do with them? Okay, well, we're going to machine 200 of them the first week, and then 200 the next week, and then the last 100 the next week. Okay, how about if I get you 250 to make sure you got enough, and I'll get you those in 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'll get you another couple hundred, and then the last 100 after that, kind of thing, to go, so that you're getting the parts just as you need them. We're getting them to you faster, and you're able to satisfy your customer. And given that kind of creative thinking and being able to drop that project in at any moment in time is one of the things we like to be able to do, and be able to make sure that we can take care of our customers, and we can and there's, okay, but what's that expediting going to cost us? Nothing. You're our customer. That's what we do. We're supposed to be doing that for you. We're not supposed to be doing it at you. So.
I love it. It sounds like you really are not scared to take a hard and honest look into your own operations on all aspects in all departments, and really stay flexible. And just the way you are staying flexible with your clients and what you're delivering also within your operations, in order to keep up with like how the world is changing in your own ways and capabilities. I really love that, because I do think that mature industries, rarely you see people that act that way. They still rely on being big, and and the industry being big, but things are always changing, so you're not always guaranteed what has been happening for the past 20 years.
Excuse me there, I had to take a drink of water. I'm talking way too much.
No worries. So we are an AI-based digital agency, and we use a lot of AI and technology for ourselves and our clients to be found online, to generate more leads and sales, and just to like have better quality ROI for themselves. How are you guys using either technology or AI to improve your business systems, whether it's marketing and sales or operations?
Well, we're really just kind of dabbling with the AI right now, and using it a little bit in our marketing that we're talking about, and letting AI help us go out and to discover what the market might be that we're looking at, and who we might be trying to approach and tell about TPM. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. I caught a little cold from my grandkids last weekend. So, but what we're trying to do then, in addition to that, is to try and automate wherever we can. But the problem with automation is, if you're not careful, it'll lock you into a corner. And you can only do this kind of thing. So we're trying to make sure that we stay as flexible as possible with our automation that we do. At the same time, we want to make sure that our people can be moved around from place to place. So we encourage cross-training of our people all the time. We want everybody we want to have a bunch of utility fielders, people that can play, like if there's a baseball team, I want somebody who can play 7 or 8 positions, kind of thing all the time. So that gives me that freedom to move people around when we need to, and we can move people to where the work is, kind of thing. So we focus a lot on that to help us keep active with that. And so that allows us then to be able to not have that one niche that we can do. We can do a bunch of other different things. We make sure that anytime you automate, the one thing that people always worry about, I got all this setup time because I've got to set up my machines and everything. Well, we are strong believers in that, the 1 minute setup type of thing. There's a book that came out, probably in the early 60s from Japan, about 1 minute die changeover. So we believe strongly in that. We believe that we need to be able to have quick changeovers from job to job. A person shouldn't be walking around looking for stuff. Everything should be handy to them. There's no value in walking around looking for something. There's only, every time we need to do something, we need to look and say, what am I doing right now, and how does that add value to my customer? How does our customer benefit from whatever I'm doing right now? And if they don't, stop doing that. Do something else. Okay, so we like to look at that, and do it that way. We like to take that fresh approach in everything that we do.
I love it. I really think that that's going to be the way of the future for a lot of companies, no matter what the industry is. And like the more that I get to know people on the podcast and get to know really cool companies, it's really the direction that a lot of companies are going, is to be more efficient and find within their resources what can be automated, what can be expedited, how can you become leaner. Because I think AI and technology are going to take over a lot of things, and humans can now use their creativity to create lean processes and systems that at the end are just going to help the customer, the product, just gonna make things a lot more efficient. Yeah, and you guys are right on track. It's very, very interesting to hear your approach.
Appreciate that.
It's really from all directions. I'm hearing it. What would you say as we wrap off here? What word of advice would you leave for other manufacturing companies out there that are, need to get with the times? Let's put it this way.
Well, I think, there's one thing that I try to encourage everybody in our place to do, and it's something I try to do each and every day. I do my Gemba walks or my walkabouts, and talk to people and ask them what's going on and how they're doing and look at stuff and pay attention. But one of the things I like to do is I walk into a department, whatever area I'm in the foundry. Walk in, and it's almost like, I cover my eyes and do this. And it's like the first time I'm seeing what's there. Okay, I want to act like I've never seen this before, and I look around, what do I see going on, and what makes good sense and what doesn't make good sense. We get so used to however the furniture is arranged in our house, that when you move that furniture around, it's like, oh my God, it's a whole different house, right? So it's the same thing with your workplace. So I would encourage people to go out, open your eyes, and see what's really going on, and ask yourself, does this really make sense? If I was a customer, and I was walking in here for the first time, and I walked in and I looked around at what's going on here, would I say, wow, this place is a dirty dump and nobody seems to be working and everything's piled up everywhere? Or is this a place that, wow, these guys are like really, man, they're leaning fast and everything's moving and everybody's got a direction, everybody has a purpose, So you want to open up your eyes and see, is that what you're really seeing? Do you see what you want your customer to see? Or are you just seeing what you see every day and so you're used to it?
It's so hard to do that, right? Even in our own personal life, homes, work, it's so hard to just remove ourselves from what we've been staring at for so long and just think about it from just like a different angle. It is really tough, but it's so true. Yeah, close your eyes and open them up. Like that's such a good nugget of information.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Brad. This was wonderful.
I appreciate the time you spent here and being able to do this. I was a little bit nervous about what's this going to be like. All my experience with podcasts is, I did watch one season of, Murders in the Building, so it's everything I knew about a podcast. So fortunately, nobody died in this one, and so it's all good.
No, yeah, everybody's alive. We're walking out, 2 hands, 2 feet. We're good.
There you go.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna stop it.